What's up? So, why don't we just start with like a super basic question? How are you?
Pretty good. Yeah. It's like
Awesome.
60, 70 something degrees in Los Angeles, and it's pretty nice.
I'm sorry, is that Snoopy behind you?
Yeah, it's it's like a corny little Van Gogh Snoopy.
Oh my God, I love that. That's really cute. Oh, did you celebrate Lunar New Year? Was that like a thing for you? Or is it just like oh yeah, it's Lunar New Year. Cool.
No, yeah, I typically celebrate the Lunar New Year with my family back in Massachusetts, but since
Nice.
I'm just terrified of COVID, we all just FaceTimed and had our traditions through FaceTime. Like typically we eat a bunch of dumplings, and then we kind of celebrate our ancestors with a series of shrines that my like parents and uncles made by like lighting some incense and then like kowtowing.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what have you been up to lately? Do you have any cool project going on?
Yeah, so I've been producing a lot. We are working on producing for a company that does a lot of medical equipment and life-saving technologies. Uh,
Okay.
Other than that, just been auditioning a little bit. Yeah, it's pilot season, and so I've been auditioning a bit, like talking to my acting coach, going back and forth, having existential crises, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I feel that. Is
Yeah.
okay, so as far as I remember, pilot season was mostly focused in January. Has that like shifted over time? Is it now like longer span because we're able to submit self-tapes whenever?
Yeah, I found in the past couple of years that pilot season typically focused around January to beginning of April. But
Oh,
now
wow.
that there are so many streaming services, people are just auditioning for pilots all year round, typically.
Mm.
You know?
Oh man, I can imagine that can be like stressful, but also really great because like the opportunities have expanded, but then it's like you need to be ready like year round. And it's like, oh shoot, like any audition could come at me from left field. I need to be on this, but that
Oh,
sounds cool. Is it
yeah.
mostly focused like in LA specifically, or are you like sending auditions to multiple places?
So a lot of the casting directors are that I'm auditioning for are based in Los Angeles or New York, but they are shooting anywhere from like New Orleans, who has a humongous tax break, to I don't know, a lot of places are going to Canada for some reason.
I heard that also Atlanta is getting bigger with like TV production or something also because I think it's cheaper.
Yeah,
Um,
there's a
but
huge tax break with a lot of the southern states, especially.
uh-huh.
I don't know. Now you don't really get to enter the room anymore because of COVID, which is kind of a blessing and a curse at the same time. Because once you're in the room, you kind of like on stage, you kind of feel what they're feeling and if your decisions really made an impact on them. Whereas if you're filming yourself, you get a bunch of different takes, but you get really into your head about it. And whoever your friend is, whoever's reading for you, is just like, you've done like 10 of these and they're exactly the same. Just stop. Um, and at the same time, it's unfortunately for auditions, they never, like, unlike a job interview, they don't email you or contact you back to say, hey, we're going a different way. So you're just kind of waiting there after you've done a lot of work, hopefully, and you're like, I got it or I didn't. So that's kind of like a psychological game that you play with yourself. But I have kind of come to appreciate it. But at the same time, you're just sitting there and you're like, what am I doing? Like, why did I choose this career path, you idiot? Um, yeah, it's fun, I guess. I think that when you're auditioning for these, the whole point is to create a character, not to get a job. It's to remember that you love doing the work in order to get this character down. And if you don't get it, if you do get the part, then that's just like a plus. Yeah, I think that's really important when you've been in the industry for quite some time, and like you don't want to, like, this, I don't know, this city and this industry has a tendency to really take away the creativity and take away the promise of doing something creative for creative sake. And I think that that's such a curse. Like, that's the business of show business is awful.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, I try to hold on to the fact that, I don't know, there's a reason why we got into this, because we want to be creative. And having these auditions by itself lets you be creative, but there's a little incentive behind it. But you have to kind of forget about that incentive and just be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna have fun with this.
So is there like a fond memory you have of working on set? Do you have like a best memory when it comes to that?
Yeah, there's one memory I had when I was in New York. I was working off Broadway, my very first off Broadway show, where I was like, typically on Broadway, there's so much singing, but obviously I can't sing for shit. And so I was always the transition between numbers. It was a full house of 500 plus people, and I was playing like a very malicious soldier. And during the scene, the first time I went out there, and I just felt like this heaviness in the air, because my scene was to talk to my son about how much of a disappointment he was. And it was great because you're kind of guiding the mind's eye of the audience to exactly what they want to feel. And there is a slap, and everyone in the audience just goes, whoa. Like, and right
Wait,
when
like you had to hit the other person?
yeah. And the funny thing was, we had 4 shows a week for like a month and a half, and we couldn't get the slap down, like the fake slap down. And he was like, dude, just slap me because I have to cry in the next scene. I was like, no, you have like a wife and kids in real life. I don't want to like, actually hit you. So I just went for it because it was my first. And I was like, bam. And then after like 2 3 weeks, I was like, dude, I don't want to keep hitting you. This is really bad. You're like a really good guy in real life. And it was like, no, just go for it. But yeah, that first feeling I had in front of an audience of 500 plus people, that was so beautiful, because you can really feel what everyone else is feeling and really know if they're actually engaged in the play or not. Yeah, that was great.
That sounds amazing. But so on the flip side of that, can you sense when they're like not feeling it, and how do you deal with that?
Yes, there were a lot of much smaller, like black box theaters that I went to, where it was, my acting teacher was like, if you hear a lot of like shuffling in their seats, that means they can feel their ass hurting and they just like want to get the hell out of there. And so there were these like small little like plays, these festivals where they would just do back to back to back plays. And like immediately, that's what I love about theater so much, is that right when the actor comes out, you can feel exactly how they're feeling. Like during production, if, I don't know, the producer feels kind of angry, or the director feels like really stressed out, everybody on set can really feel it, and it kind of puts a little stain on the production itself.
Mm.
So there was this one time where I was shooting a commercial for some hotel in California, and it was 6 a.m. Everybody got to set. I was sitting and holding, and then I could hear on the side this director being like, "You are a fucking idiot, and you probably wasted 2 hours of the day." And he's just screaming. It's like, "I told you this months ago that we needed A, B, and C, and now this whole production is fucked. You fucking idiot." And he comes from behind the curtain and shakes my hand, like, "Hi, my name is blah blah blah. Glad to meet you." And everybody on set's just really on edge. It's like 6:30 in the morning, and the whole day. I mean, it kind of flowed a little bit better after a while, but I don't know. It's whatever. I don't know. If you feel nervous, then the whole day is kind of nerve wracking. So you kind of learn. I don't know. I'm kind of experienced. I'm not super experienced, but you kind of learn that you have to go in with like a clear mindset and just say, "I'm here because they think I'm great at my job. So I hope I'm good at my job today." Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So when it does get to be like a little much dealing with the business of show business, what do you do for self-care days?
So my friend and he works in like TV and film production. And we were joking, we were grabbing drinks, and I asked him the same thing. He was like, "Oh, I just kind of sit in my car and scream as loud as I can." I was like, "I do the same thing." It's amazing. Either that, but because that's not the healthiest way to go about relieving your stress. Um, I trail run a lot. So I go on like 5 to 10 mile hikes deep in like the Los Angeles National Forest, or I don't know, just chilling, watching a movie, just hanging out with friends and just venting.
Sure.
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Solid. Those do seem like actual healthy options. I think screaming is really underrated because, we're taught to be like civilized in public, don't raise your voice, don't be too rowdy, but sometimes you just need to let it all out. And screaming is like a really good, like physical way of doing that because your entire body engages when you scream. It's so weird. Like it's
Yeah.
not just coming from your throat and your mouth, it's like everywhere.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's like, it's almost the exact opposite of meditation where you like stay quiet and present, but instead you're just screaming like a maniac in the middle of the parking lot. And after a while, you're like, "Huh, it's gonna be a good day today."
Yes, yes, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so last question. Is there anything that you are looking forward to in the coming week, month, year, whatever?
Yeah, I am really looking forward to auditioning more, hopefully hearing back. I'm looking forward to, uh, yeah, another great fortuitous year, and looking forward to everyone being safe. I'm looking forward to just continually being appreciative of what I love doing in the arts,
Hmm.
or everyone to feel safe and hopefully finding what they love to do.